Hi. In this video, we are going to continue our study of inequalities, and we are going to talk about the rearrangement inequality and Chebyshev's inequality. So let's get started. The rearrangement inequality is actually a very useful inequality. You can prove many things from it. So please try and understand this, as this comes in handy in many places. Let's talk about it. If I goes from 1 to n, and I goes from 1 to n, be sequences of positive numbers. They are sequences of positive numbers which are either increasing or decreasing in the same direction. So what do we mean increasing and decreasing in the same direction? What it means is either you have a1 greater than a2 greater than an, or and b1 greater than b2 is greater than an. So basically it's this way is a decreasing order and this way is the decreasing order, or you have a1 is less than a2 is less than an, and b1 is less than b2 is less than bn, right? So in this case you have decreasing order in this way. So both the decreasing orders are similar, right? So in this case, if this is true, then for any permutation cn of the numbers bn, basically what do we mean by that? If you rearrange the terms of the sequence b in any different order, called cn, so basically you change the positions of all of the elements of b, so that will be a different permutation. So in that case, we have this inequality is always true. The summation of aici from I goes from 1 to n is always lesser than equal to summation of aibi, and always greater than equal to the summation of ai bn minus I plus 1. So we'll understand this in greater detail as we do some examples. What we mean basically is that the summation of the product of ai and the permuted sequence ci will attain its maxima when ai and bi are similarly sorted, when either both are decreasing or both are increasing, right? And will attain its minima when they are oppositely sorted. So we will see some examples of this and try to understand what this really means. A useful tip to apply rearrangement that I would like you guys to know is that if you have a function of some n variables, suppose you have a function of n variables, a1 to an, and this function is symmetric. If this function is symmetric, what do we mean by symmetric? Basically, if you interchange and make it like this, a different permutation of the n elements, nothing happens to the function. The function is unchanged. So in case you have a different permutation of these elements of the sequence, your function is unchanged, then you call that function a symmetric function. Examples could be simple. X cube plus y cube plus z cube is a function of x, y, z, right? Now, it doesn't matter if you make it z, x, y, it is going to be still the same function. So this is a symmetric function. Not all functions are symmetric, obviously. So if you have a symmetric function and you have to somehow prove that f of a1, a2 till an is greater than 0, right? Then you can assume without loss of generality that a1 is greater than a2 is greater than so on, greater than an. You can assume this without any loss of generality, because ultimately the choice of the labels doesn't matter, right? Permuting the labels will keep the function the same. So there must be some ordering. There must be some ordering in those elements a1, a2, an. So if there is some ordering, you can just relabel them and call the perfect ordering as a1 greater than a2 greater than an, right? So this helps a lot because now you have a sequence of decreasing terms, and now you can apply rearrangement inequality on this. So let's see examples where we use this concept of assuming that without loss of generality, you can create this sequence, right? So the first example that we look at is very simple. We have to prove that a square plus b square plus c square is greater than or equal to ab plus bc plus ca, right? Now, notice that this function f of abc is symmetric, symmetric. Because no matter how you reorder your ABC, a square plus b square plus c square function will remain the same, right? So if it is symmetric, then without loss of generality, you can assume that A is greater than B is greater than C, right? And now you have one of the sequences for your rearrangement inequality. So ABC is my sequence which follows this order. Let's take another copy of the same sequence, ABC. So now we have two sequences which follow this order. Now, what does rearrangement inequality say? It says that any ordering, if you multiply these two sequences with a permuted sequence, suppose we permute this sequence and create a new CI, which is basically B, C, and A, right? Then we know that product of AI and CI, which is A into B plus B into C plus C into A. This is basically the middle term in the rearrangement inequality that I had written. CI is my permuted sequence, which is BCA, right? This has some bounds. Rearrangement inequality establishes some bounds for this, right? And we know that this is going to be less than or equal to when you keep the sequences in the same order and multiply them. So A into A plus B into B plus C into C. And this is going to be greater than or equal to when you multiply the sequences in the opposite ordering. So if ABC is the decreasing order, so you should get A into C plus B square plus C into A, right? This is what is coming. So what we get is this bound we are getting A square plus B square plus C square is greater than equal to AB plus BC plus CA. Obviously, there are other ways to prove this, which are obvious, like you can just take it on the left-hand side and it's the sum of perfect squares. But right now, I'm just trying to show you how rearrangement inequality works. So the way it works is you reorder this sequence and the product gives you this right-hand side here, right-hand side. And once you have the right-hand side, it will always be lesser than equal to when you multiply the sequences in the correct order, in the same order, A into A, B into B, C into C, where A is greater than B is greater than equal to C. So let's see some more examples to understand it better. So suppose you have positive numbers A, B, C, and I have to prove that A cube plus B cube plus C cube is greater than equal to A square B plus B square C plus C square A, right? We have this. Now, obviously, since again, this is a symmetric function, we can assume without loss of generality that A is greater than B is greater than C, which implies that A square is greater than B square is greater than equal to C square. So now I have my two sequences for rearrangement inequality. We have these two sequences of numbers, and one time what we will do is we will multiply them as it is in the correct order. So it will be A into A square plus B into B square plus C into C square should be greater than equal to if we multiply them in some wrong order. What is the wrong order? We permute this sequence and call it BCA. And if any rearranged order we multiply, we should get A square B plus B square C plus C square A. So it is immediately proved. Like you get it in one step if you're able to think of the sequences which follow a similar orientation like this. So if the ordering of the sequences is similar, then rearrangement quickly gives you the answer here. You don't need to do anything else, right? So this is how it works. Let's see another couple of examples on rearrangement. So for example, we can prove Nesbit's inequality through rearrangement as well. So if you have this, we have to prove that this is greater than 3 by 2, let's say. So again, since this side is a symmetric function, I can assume that A is greater than B is greater than equal to C, right? And that means that B plus C will be less than equal to C plus A, right? This implies that because C can cancel and you know that B is less than equal to A. And it also implies that C plus A is less than equal to A plus B because C is less than B, right? So these two facts are implied in saying this. So that means that we have B plus C is less than equal to C plus A is less than equal to A plus B. And Notice now I've created the denominators here, right? So I need to take a reciprocal of these because I want to multiply two sequences. So can write it as 1 by b plus c is greater than 1 by c plus a. The inequality gets reversed, 1 by a plus b. And now I have my two sequences with the same ordering. So the sequences are a, b, c, and 1 by b plus c, 1 by c plus a, and 1 by a plus b, right? These are my two sequences. This is one sequence, this is another sequence, right? And they have the same order, as in a is greater than b is greater than c, and 1 by b plus c is greater than 1 by c plus a, and greater than 1 by a plus c. Once we have this, now we are ready to apply rearrangement. We know that multiplying these in with the correct order of the terms, so a into 1 by b plus c plus b into 1 by c plus a plus c into 1 by a plus b is greater than equal to in any wrong order if we multiply. So let's multiply it in b into 1 by b plus c. So b by b plus c plus c by c plus a plus a by a plus b, right? And we can do the same thing once more. We can say a by b plus c plus b by c plus a plus c by a plus b will be also greater than if we multiply c with 1 by b plus c and a with 1 by c plus a and b with 1 by a plus b. The reason I did this is because now you can add these two, and this expression you can call S and S, which is what is the left-hand side of the inequality that you want to prove. And you can say 2S is greater than equal to, when you add these, this plus this becomes 1, this plus this becomes 1, and this plus this becomes 1. So you get 2S is greater than 3, and S is greater than 3 by 2, which is the proof of Nesbit's inequality, right? So I hope you understood how we applied rearrangement here. We said that without loss of generality, we have A greater than B greater than C. And after that, we constructed the other sequence that we needed. 1 by B plus C, 1 by C plus A, and 1 by A plus B, right? Another question that we can prove very easily using this is, suppose ABC is greater than equal to 1, right? Prove that A power A, B power B, C power C is greater than equal to A power B, B power C, C power A. Now you will see the power of rearrangement very easily here, because if I take log on both sides, right, this and this, both sides, if I take a log, it will become A ln A plus B ln B plus C ln C. And we have to prove that that is greater than equal to B ln A plus C ln B plus A ln C, right? Now, since this is a symmetric function, we can assume without loss of generality that A is greater than B is greater than C. And that implies that ln A is greater than ln B is greater than ln C. And once you have these two sequences of numbers, ABC and ln A, ln B, ln C, then obviously from rearrangement, it follows that this is the maximum value. A into ln A, B into ln B, and C into ln C is the maximum value of any reordered sequence where we have B, C, A and ln A, ln B, ln C, right? That is your rearrangement inequality. When you multiply these, you get this, and that is going to always be lesser than this. What about the other bound? So you should know the other bound also. The other bound is if you multiply CBA with ln A, ln B, ln C. So we can show that this thing is always greater than C ln A plus B ln B plus A ln C, where this is in reverse order and this is in the normal order. Ln A is greater than ln B is greater than ln C, and C is lesser than B is lesser than A, right? So in this case, this is also true. So what we can say is eventually A power A, B power B, C power C is greater than equal to A power B, B power C, C power A is greater than equal to A power C, B power B, C power A. This is the lowest possible value, right? Okay, so this one is done. So we have discussed our rearrangement inequality. Now we'll discuss something called the Chebyshev's inequality, which is a direct consequence of rearrangement inequality. So what is Chebyshev's? So let AI I goes from 1 to n, and bi, I goes from 1 to n, be two sequences of real numbers, two sequences of real numbers, and if if the sequences are similarly sorted, are similarly sorted. Similarly sorted means in the same direction they are increasing or decreasing. So that could mean either A1 greater than A2 greater than AN and B1 greater than B2 greater than BN, or it could mean A1 less than A2 less than AN and B1 less than B2 less than BN. That is the meaning of saying that they are similarly sorted. Then what we have is A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus so on till AN BN by N is always going to be greater than A1 plus A2 plus AN by N multiplied by B1 plus B2 plus Bn by N. This is the first version of Chebyshev's. So if the sequences are similarly sorted, you have A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus AN Bn by N is always greater than the product of the AMs here, right? The second inequality is if they are oppositely sorted. If they are oppositely sorted. So basically you have either A1 greater than A2 greater than AN and B1 less than B2 less than BN, right? Or the reverse of that. Then you have A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus AN BN by N is less than equal to A1 plus A2 plus AN by N multiplied by B1 plus B2 plus Bn by N, right? In that case, if they are oppositely sorted, this quantity is actually lesser than the product of the AMs of the two sequences, right? So the proof of Chebyshev's I will leave up to you. You can try and prove it using rearrangement. So just try it using rearrangement once. If you guys don't get it, I will do it in the next inequality video. I'll let you guys try this one. So once we have this Chebyshev's inequality, let's see some applications where you can see how it works. So the question is this: if A, B, C are greater than 0, then prove that 3 times A square plus B square plus C square is greater than equal to A plus B plus C whole square. So what we will do here is think of how to apply Chebyshev. So for Chebyshev as well, just like rearrangement, you need two sequences. So A, B, C is one sequence and A, B, C is repeated, and that is my second sequence. And here also we can, without loss of generality, assume that A is greater than B is greater than equal to C, right? Because this function is symmetric here, right? So then by Chebyshev, we have multiplied these. So you have A into A plus B into B plus C into C by N. So by 3 should be greater than equal to, if you do AM of this and AM of this and product of that, right? So A plus B plus C by 3 multiplied by A plus B plus C by 3, right? So that immediately gives you the answer. So 1, 3 cancels and this 3 comes here and becomes 3 times A square plus B square plus C square greater than A plus B plus C whole square, right? So that is how you apply Chebyshev's. So let's see another couple of examples. Sixth example for us is if A, B, C is greater than 0, you have to prove that A power 8 plus B power 8 plus C power 8 by A cube, B cube, C cube is greater than equal to 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C, right? So here we will do something more interesting, because here we will think of what sequence to apply Chebyshev on. So if you think of A power 6, B power 6, C power 6, and A power A square, B square, and C square, then you will be able to construct the a power 8, b power 8, c power 8 term by multiplying these two sequences. By the way, I'm already assuming without loss of generality that a is greater than b is greater than c. So therefore, it implies that a6 is greater than b6 is greater than c6, and a square is greater than b square is greater than c square. So these are basically the first condition of Chebyshev's, which says that the two sequences are similarly sorted. So if these sequences are similarly sorted, then I have a power 6 into a square plus b power 6 into b square plus c power 6 into c square by 3 is greater than equal to a power 6 plus b power 6 plus c power 6 by 3 multiplied by a square plus b square plus c square by 3, right? This is what we get, correct? Okay, so this left hand side becomes a power 8 plus b power 8 plus c power 8 by 3 is greater than equal to, and I will cancel the 3. A power 8 plus b power 8 plus c power 8 is greater than a6 plus b6 plus c6 by 3 multiplied by a square plus b square plus c square, right? So I have this by Chebyshev so far, but I need by a cube, b cube, c cube. So I'll divide by a cube, b cube, c cube here. So there will be a cube, b cube, c cube here as well, right? Okay. So now think about it. We know this is true. We have the LHS that we need in the inequality that we have to prove. LHS is already sorted. So we need to worry about this part. So what can we do here? We know that this a6 plus b6 plus c6 by 3 is greater than equal to cube root of a6, b6, c6. So that is a square, b square, c square, because this is just AMGM. So this is greater than 3 times a square, b square, c square. So if I put that there, it's greater than 3 times a square, b square, c square by 3 times a cube, b cube, c cube, and a square plus b square plus c square, right? Then I cancel the 3 and I get a by ABC, right? By ABC I'm getting. Now, how do we prove that this is greater than equal to this, right? So we can use our earlier result. We have the left-hand side A8 plus B8 plus C8 by A cube, B cube, C cube. We are getting greater than equal to A square plus B square plus C square by ABC, right? 3 got cancelled. This is what we have right now, right? But earlier we have proved that a square plus b square plus c square is greater than equal to ab plus bc plus ca by rearrangement inequality, right? So let's use that here. So we know that this is greater than equal to ab plus bc plus ca by abc, right? Which is equal to 1 by a plus 1 by b plus 1 by c. So we have proved the statement that we set out to do, right? So what we are using here is basically Chebyshev's on two appropriately chosen sequences. The sequences that we chose were A6, B6, C6, and A square, B square, C square. And after that, we are applying AMGM in one of the steps to simplify matters. One last example I will show before we end this video. This is question number 7. So if you have A greater than B greater than C greater than equal to 0, and 0 is less than x is less than y is less than z, right? You have to prove that a by x plus b by y plus c by z is greater than equal to a plus b plus c by cube root of xyz, and that is greater than equal to 3 times a plus b plus c by x plus y plus z. This is an important enough result that you should eventually like just remember it, but we will see this how this is done. So obviously right now the sequences are not properly ordered, like they are not similarly sorted, right? This is in decreasing and this is increasing. So what we can say is a greater than b greater than c is greater than equal to 0, and similarly you can say 1 by x is greater than 1 by y is greater than 1 by z is greater than equal to 0, right? If you take reciprocals, the ordering of the inequalities becomes the same. So my sequences are A, B, C, and 1 by X, 1 by Y, 1 by Z, right? So I can apply Chebyshev's now. So I can say A into 1 by x plus B into 1 by y plus C into 1 by z divided by 3 is greater than equal to A plus B plus C by 3 into 1 by x plus 1 by y plus 1 by z by 3, right? Correct. So 1, 3, 3 gets cancelled. And what you have is A by x plus B by y plus C by z is greater than equal to uh, this term, right? And we can apply AMGM on 1 by x plus 1 by y plus 1 by z by 3 should be greater than equal to cube root of 1 by x, y, z, right? So I can write directly after applying, I can write A plus B plus C by cube root of x, y, z, right? So I have already proved that first part here. This part is done by Chebyshev directly, right? Now, how do you prove the next part? The next part is following from AMGM because we can say that A plus B plus C by cube root of x, y, z will be greater than equal to A plus B plus C by, instead of GM here, this is the GM of three numbers x, y, z. I can do AM of the three numbers, right? Divide by the AM. Think about it. AM is always greater than GM, right? Greater than equal to GM. So here I am doing something divided by the GM of x, y, z. So that should be greater than something divided by the AM of x, y, z. So this becomes 3 times A plus B plus C by x plus y plus z, right? So we get the inequality that we set out to prove. So we have proved all the 3 parts of this. This is also done. So this is your rearrangement and Chebyshev's. We will see applications of this as we go further and do more problems. So I would like you guys to go through whatever we have done so far in the course. We have covered almost 10 inequalities now. We had started from AMGM, weighted AMGM, Cauchy-Schwarz in Engel form. Then we did Holders, and now we have done Chebyshev's and we have done rearrangement, right? So all of these are quite important and this should basically help you solve a lot of questions. So keep practicing and I'll bring you the rest of the course in due time. See you next time.